Wow, having some technical difficulties on that intro
I
today.
like it. It's almost like you're scratching, like you're back in the old days. You're scratching the music on the way in. I like it.
876. Yeah.
Three. Don't sing that song. That's not cool.
No, wait, can I say, is it gay?
Well, first of all, Joe Rogan tested this theory, right? So he's like, when I was a kid, like I used to just say everyone was gay, and now I can't say anyone is gay because, well, they could be gay. And I'm like, yeah, that kind of makes sense. I heard Joe Rogan say.
Right? Get the fuck
I'm not
out of here.
advising you on your comments. That is up to you. That's how I
Yeah.
live. I'm a libertarian now. I don't judge.
All right.
You
If
know
you
what I mean?
say so. You ready for a good show today? We got some
Yeah,
good.
man. Listen, we need a good show right here because it's not like we need it personally, but I want it for the people because I do want to say something to you and Michelle, and I know we struggle with it, Scott, is getting contestants is sometimes hard. And I got to tell you, so many people on those keyboards, they want to do this. They talk about it. Well, guys, you're getting the chance. We're giving you a platform. Please don't let this not be an opportunity for you to be heard. And you'll watch. It's going to be respectful. But we need more. We need more liberal, Democrat, socialists. I want to hear socialists. I want to hear AOC on this show, Scott. What do you think of that?
I'd love to get that bitch on this show.
Wait. You know, how do you wait? I want you to apologize and look in the mirror or the video. You don't say that to her because she could be a possible
Oh,
contestant.
that's true. Well, that's true. You know what? You're right. But I'd still like to get that bitch on the show.
Come on, Scott. But see, now what you just did is discourage somebody from wanting to come on.
I'm kidding.
You got to welcome
No, listen.
him on, man.
You know what? Come on. We welcome all types and kinds. Come on the show.
You know, I think it's interesting, but I am excited to say the least. Michelle, thank you, and Scott, thank you, and let's get rocking and rolling whenever you're ready. I think you're going to have a great show tonight, guys. There's going to be a lot of great energy from this group.
So just to let everybody know in the audience, again, scrolling on the bottom, to vote for your favorite candidate to crown the master debater of this evening, you are going to want to go to themasterdebaters.net/vote. And if you just go to masterdebaters.net, at the top, it's going to say vote for your candidate. All of our debates are listed there tonight. It's going to update the results in real time for you so you can continue to check to see who's winning. And we're ready to get this started. So I think we should bring in first. Mm-hmm. We have Jason M. Okay. Jason is from here in New York, born and raised here on Long Island. And we're going to put him up against John B., who has become a real good friend of mine throughout the last year or so. Very involved in our social media platform, speakyourmindhere.com. I had to do that shameless plug. But so we're going to get John up here, who's always working hard for us and helping us. So big shout out to John. We're going to bring in these two candidates first. And Kevin, I hope you have some really thought-provoking questions for these two. So let's meet these candidates. Let's bring in John and let's bring in Jason.
You also want to encourage everyone to comment. Please comment. That's what makes it fun.
John, we'll read your comments for Jason. Sure. So
these guys look cool. I already got to tell you, Johnny B looks very chill. But Jason looks like he collects money for a living. I'm just saying, does he collect money for a living, this guy?
That would be something.
I don't know, man. I'm getting nervous. Jason looks like he has people. I don't know about you, but he has people.
Oh, yeah. He definitely has people. All right.
If you're looking to buy 1 billion masks, I got somebody for you.
Okay, there it is.
Like, fair warning, man. I got no filter, and I'm liquored up.
There we go.
Yeah,
awesome.
As I look for you, that's shocking.
Oh boy, here we go. Here it starts. So with that, I'm going to duck out here, Kevin, and here you go. Fire away. So the format's going to be, you're going to, Kevin, you asked a question. Each candidate will have 1 minute to give their answer, and then you and I are just going to let them battle it out.
So before we start, man, I love you, Jason.
Oh, that's it. That's it, Johnny. Just you love him.
Yeah.
Johnny, got to tell you, it was the worst open ever. But welcome to the master debaters, Johnny and Jason. Thank you so much. The first round tonight. I am your host, Kevin Allen. Privileged to be here, and I'm going to get right into it, folks. It's going to be a first minute, 1 round minute, and this is going to be on criminal justice and racism. The first question in this topic is going to be, is racism real in America? First to you, Jason.
I mean, I think racism is real everywhere. It's just a thing since the dawn of time. What specifically, I mean, is it real? Of course it's real. Is it real in America? It's real everywhere. I mean, is there more to that question, or just that's it?
Well, I think, and thank you for that. And I think the reality is race has become a very divisive topic in our country. And, is racism what is being presented by the corporate media, by the social justice warriors who are on both sides of discussion, the fight and for and against? Is there a problem with race in our country, Jason?
Well, I definitely think that, both sides play that issue very well. And it's a shame because it doesn't have to be played that way. I definitely think that it's real, but I don't think, from my point of view, that it should be the driving force in every single conversation. I don't think everything boils down to race.
Thank you. Very, very, very ginger answer from Jason. Johnny, I'm going to go to you. What do you feel about is race? Well, is it a problem in America today, Johnny?
I hate to say this, but I kind of agree with Jason. But the caveat is that I think the race is overblown in this country, and I think the mainstream media just fuels that racism. Like the white supremacy thing, man. It ain't there, man. The white supremacy just ain't there, and they keep fueling it, and they keep adding more, bricks to it, and just keep building this fire of racism. Proud Boys, Oath Keepers, all this stuff, white supremacy. It ain't there. It's just not there.
You bring up some very good points, and I'm going to go back, and Scott, I believe this is where we kind of go into where you folks, now both of you, Jason and Johnny, I'm going to throw something out here, and we get an opportunity to watch you guys chew it up. Scott, come back in. Michelle, Scott, I wanted to get it out of the way, racism, and I'll tell you why. I've been on this tour around the state of Connecticut, and the first thing people say to me is not racism. It's about the economy, and it's about everything else. So I'm wondering what people are thinking right now, because when we watch corporate media, they're telling us we're the worst divided country in the world. And I just don't feel that way. So I wanted to start out of the box, Scott, with race. Your thoughts?
What do you want to know?
Well, I mean, obviously I asked Johnny and Jason. I think they were pretty well in line with each other. I think Johnny was a little more passionate than Jason, but I think race seemed to be a big deal. I want to kind of continue the conversation. I'm going to throw it out here. Black Lives Matters, the movement in America that took place. Is this a positive move forward for America, or is it not? Johnny B., you first.
Yeah, well, real quick.
Hard no. Man, Black Lives Matter, it's on their website, that Patricia Cullors, the founder of the movement, self-proclaimed Marxist. It's a Marxist organization, ain't down with it. Of course, Black lives do matter. All lives do matter. But this movement, this movement is just a domestic terrorist organization like Antifa.
Jason, your thoughts on that? Black Lives Matters, the movement, you support it? Did you have a sign out in front of your house? Did you donate to Black Lives Matters, Jason?
Okay, so if I could just bring back to something Johnny said before, I mean, the fact is that
Jason donated 1,000 to BLM.
Yeah, right. I didn't donate any money to BLM.
Jason had no problem with the cities burning down.
We're gonna get there.
Okay, I obviously get the hell out of here. I knew Scott McCord was a Republican. Look, bottom line is this: I think that white supremacy is a real thing. It's really there now. It's always been there, so nothing has changed. It's there. Why we see certain things in the media, whether it's BLM or whether it's white supremacy, it's the narrative of the media that we're following. So I don't think it's not there. As far as BLM goes, I think that it's a shame that the movement has taken the form that it's taken, because I think that for many people probably who support it don't understand, as Johnny said, what this organization has become or what it was always about. I think that there is something good that can come from it, but I think that it's gone the wrong way. And I think that it's just used as a false flag on a lot of things. And
Johnny, you hear Jason. You guys seem to agree on this, and it's interesting.
I agree with Jason 100%. If I may comment on the comment section from Dewan Eastman, what's wrong with Marxism? Like, really, bro? What's wrong with Marxism? Yeah. It's killed millions of people since like 1919. It's killed millions of people. Enough said about Marxism.
But Johnny, when we talk about this movement in America, which has a Marxist attachment, I believe you're alluding to, and Jason, I want to ask you back again, though, and please, guys, you can jump in. This is a debate show. Don't be afraid. Jason, did you support Black Lives Matter? Did you go to any of the movements? Did you go and support them during the time of the last 2 years? Were you out there?
No, definitely not.
Okay.
That wasn't my.
Oh, but that's because he was scared of COVID.
Oh, is he? Are you a COVID scared guy?
I'm not really scared of anything, to be honest with you. I've been married twice. I have 3 kids. I'm fucking fearless. Okay,
dude, you got
take it all on.
Drops.
Okay.
So listen, I'm not going to get a lot of meat on this one with you guys. It seems like
I'm
you're more.
sorry. I wish I was super into it.
No. Don't be sorry. It's okay. This is part of the deal. We don't know how you're going to react, but you know what I do know? Let me ask you this, and I'll just summarize, and we'll move forward with this. Did you appreciate how the media covered Black Lives Matters events in this country, or White Lives Matters events, or whatever you want to call it? The way that media's handled exploiting Black Lives Matters movements. First to you, Johnny, just a simple response, fellas.
No, it fucking sucked, man. The media just tried to divide, by race using Black Lives Matter. It's almost kind of like a hoax. It's like all lives matter. All lives.
Listen, I'm going to say this to you. Hey, Scott, you do me a favor. Bring Teddy in the room. Just let him in the room. Teddy, bring him in. Jason, you heard that. Do you feel the same way? All lives matters?
Well, all lives matter, but that's kind of a silly argument because I don't think that that's what Black Lives Matter was trying to say. They weren't trying to say only Black Lives Matter. And that's the problem with the movement. I mean, I think that many people would agree. I think many people would agree with the fact that there are real issues in America as it relates to some of the cases that we've seen of police violence or accidents or however you want.
So you think police are violent?
No, I didn't say that. I said there were some issues in some cases that were really explosive events that, of course, were going to polarize people. And I feel bad for the victims. I feel bad for the police officers. These are not easy issues. But, to say that Black Lives Matter as a whole movement is ridiculous, I think is a really naive way of looking at things.
So let me bring in Teddy Daniels. He's my dude right here. And Scott, thank you for bringing him in. He's going to be in a competition in a moment if we can keep him here with Joe Cool. Teddy Daniels, guys, look him up. He got shot in war. He got up and walked out, ran down the hill and killed everything in sight. He's a maniac. He's an American patriot, and he's got something to say. Teddy, what's your thoughts on these couple fellas here?
Wow. Okay. So here's the thing, man. Like, I'm hearing a lot of political correctness and crafted answers. Like, let's just fucking cut loose and call it what it is. Black Lives Matter, the entire organization, is nothing but bullshit. And the media and the Democrat Party, used it as propaganda to push their narrative. They were on standby after the 2020 election to go burn down fucking cities again. All right? They are a terror organization. Now, white supremacy, I don't see it. And trust me, I get called one every day. I got a bald head, tattoos, okay? Yeah, like my man in the corner. Brother, I get called racist, white supremacist every damn day.
Brother, listen,
You want to know why? I get called it by white liberals just because of the way I look. Just because of the way I look.
I live in Antifa hubbub, man. I've been attacked. I've had like concrete water bottles thrown at me. I mean, you name it, stabbed with umbrellas. Shit.
Jason, when you hear this with Johnny and what Teddy's saying, and Teddy, thanks for popping on it. And guys, stay tuned because Teddy's going to go with Joe Cool, I think, next, the next round. Jason, Is it? Do you feel like you're a Democrat? Is that safe to say?
I am, but I'm more towards the center than.
Don't
the
try to be
normal-
cool with us, man, Jason. Be a
I'm being-
Democrat.
No, it's
Be
cool. Like,
proud,
I respect
bro.
that.
I'm
I
being who I
respect that.
am, man. I'm being who I am.
Do you, Teddy? You respect that? Why?
I do. Honestly, here's the thing. Because
Jason's
in today's
libertarian.
society, with the division, and you have the two-party system looking to divide everybody. You have the media looking to divide everybody, okay? I have respect for a man who can stand there and say, you know what? This is what I believe. This is who I am. Who am I to because I may have different views, who am I to beat him down because my views don't align with his? This is America. This is where we live. You can have different views. The issue is when you start saying my view's right and your view's wrong, okay? That's the issue. And that's what we need to get back to. Hey, I believe in what I believe in. You believe in what you believe in. I'm not asking you to believe what I believe, and don't ask me to believe what you believe. That's what America is.
And Kevin, yeah. So we gotta let these candidates battle it out and bring up.
Yes,
another
I just
topic.
wanted to get Teddy was itching. I
Yeah,
want to get him a
listen,
taste.
I can tell Teddy is itching. I'm
Teddy's
excited
itching. He's ready to eat
Teddy.
this shit up.
I cannot wait to see him and Joe Cool. That is going to be one battle.
All right, I
to
got one
watch.
last question for this last round with these guys. Let's go to it. Let's go to the last round right here with these guys right now. And I want to ask you guys, here's the question. Teddy, you'll be back in the room in a minute. Johnny and Jason, here's the deal. Biden and Trump. Did either of you, who voted for Trump? Who voted for Trump?
Trump!
Who voted for Biden? I want to
my
ask
God,
those in the room, and I'm going to start with Johnny.
Jason,
Johnny, would you vote for Trump again?
John,
Johnny, would you vote for Trump again?
absolutely. 100%. I'm down.
Jason, the drum
Yeah,
roll, please, if we can get it. Would you vote for your guy, Joe Biden, who can't remember what to even say from the teleprompter? Would you support that vote again, sir?
Well, if Trump is a candidate and there's no other option, which I really hope there is, it'll be a difficult vote for me. But I would have to vote for him.
Jason,
Vote for
you're
who?
a libertarian.
I can't.
You're a
I can't.
libertarian, bro.
Here's the thing, Johnny. Here's the thing. Long before Trump was a candidate, he's a New Yorker, and I know this fucking guy, and he's full of shit. The shit is so thick and smelly, you can't even see it coming. He's so good. He's so good at that. And when he started to run, I said to myself, "Wow, this is going to be fun. This is fantastic." He's
You
meant
can't
to
do what he did for the country in 4 years. All the promises he made, all the promises he kept.
I don't know. I think you need to clean your ears a little bit. I don't know what you were listening to, what promises. Look, I really hoped, I got to be honest with you.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I'm very fucking serious.
Okay.
I'm sorry. What did Trump do? Let's switch it around. Tell me what Trump did.
Ask you this though. What promises, what campaign promises did Donald Trump make that he didn't keep? Name one.
Okay, fine. You want me to name one? Who fucking paid for the wall? There is no wall. I mean, it's all bullshit. You know who paid for the wall? The money that was donated went right into his pocket. Please, don't be ridiculous. He's the biggest con artist there ever was. And I give him credit, man. He's the best. And the thing is, when he won, I really hoped he was going to do a good job because he had such an opportunity to really be one of the good ones, and he fucked it up real bad.
And who's paying for the shit now?
What do you mean? We all pay for it. Politicians are liars, dude. They're all liars.
Yeah, of course they are.
We all pay for
but
it.
to say that, like, you know, of course, the Mexican government paid for the wall.
Oh, please. They didn't pay for shit. Give me a break.
Tariffs, dude.
All right, Jason,
They paid for
let me
it.
ask you this, and Johnny, is it fair to say that we're not going to get you to agree on this one on Trump? If Trump could come back to office, Jason, right now, and it was Donald Trump, and we wouldn't have to pay $8 in gas, you wouldn't have to pay for your milk so prices going so high, and you wouldn't have to pay any of that stuff, which we all know is true. If the border wasn't allowing 200,000, 2 million people a month coming in, if we haven't seen the threat of violence across our country with a movement that seems to be happening, would you still not want to have Donald Trump at all? If you knew all those things would go away, would you take Trump, Jason?
Well, I would tell you that all those things you're talking about have nothing to do with the president. Okay? Nothing.
Okay. All right. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Johnny, what do you think of that?
History. Go back to history.
No, I'm absolutely
all of it. It's all
dumbfounded,
nonsense,
man.
The
Okay.
job of a president is to keep our country safe. And what Trump did,
That's
in
true.
my opinion, what Trump did is he stoked for his own benefit, because he's a brilliant politician, maybe the best that's ever been around.
He's
Okay?
not a politician,
He
man.
is that's the biggest joke in the world. He made
I
himself.
know where you're going. You're saying he stoked the divisions? Oh,
No. Listen. This whole thing is nonsense. This two-party system. Thank God we have a two-party system, because look at all the other countries where there isn't a two-party system. Then there's no candidate that ever has a majority. It's all fractured. We built this system long before Trump to operate in this specific way. Okay? There's a Republican and there's a Democrat, and they don't have any power. The Congress does everything. The president is there to basically be a figurehead, and they have more powers than that. And what Trump did, and which is really unfortunate, because I really think he had a huge opportunity.
I gotta.
Scott, what are you thinking here?
Yeah,
we're
so
seeing that with the
hold
Biden
on,
administration,
John.
man. We're seeing that firsthand with the Biden administration.
What
he
am I
can't-
seeing?
He
so
can't
I
stand
gotta
up.
jump in here.
What am I
I gotta,
seeing?
I gotta jump in here.
Yeah.
All right. So I had to kick them out because it was getting a little heated for a second. And, it's
It was
hard
good.
for us.
Actually, you know what? I should have jumped into Trump early with these two guys. I should've
Yeah, I
said
know.
something.
Well, that's why I know that. Listen, that's the whole thing, right? But anyway, so I threw him out of here for a second. I mean, this is what the show is all about. This is really good shit. But I just want to look at some of the comments here. Like someone out there, Diane Anderson said, "What did he gain?" Talking about when Jason was saying that everything was about Trump. She said, "What actually did he gain?" Jason needs to change his meds. We have an invasion on the southern border now, solely thanks to Joe. Trump is not a politician. We got a bullshit. We got promises made, promises kept. We got a thanks for voting for Biden.
A lot of passion.
Hey, you know what, Scott? I got to say this. I don't know how long we got with Teddy Daniels because he's got to go back to his show.
Yeah, we're
starting
gonna
with
bring
Stu
him on
Peters.
right now.
So I don't want to cut us off, but I definitely want to get his energy. And Joe Cool. Joe Cool. Get him in the room.
We're gonna bring in Joe Cool and Teddy right now. Just real quick, want to bring back these two. Thank you
Great
guys so
competitors.
much.
Thanks,
Thank you
guys.
guys. You did awesome.
Everybody vote.
Yeah, go on, vote
said,
for your vote.
I
for your
love you,
best
brother.
candidate.
I love you
Yeah.
too, man.
Dude,
I love you, brother.
dude.
We got love here, guys. That's what it's about.
Yeah, we
Bringing
got
it
love.
together.
That's what it's all about. So you guys, by the way, if we have time, we'll bring you back in, so you don't have to leave. You can
What?
certainly
That's
hang
it?
out
This
in
is
the
all
back
we
room.
get?
No, we're gonna
That's
bring you
it,
back
man.
in, Johnny. Johnny,
Yeah,
you
we're
and
gonna bring
Jason.
you back.
We're bringing you back in.
Yeah, I wanted to
All
say one. I wanted to say one thing to Kevin, because I've always wanted to say this live on some show. Long-time listener, first-time caller.
Yeah, that's the first time I've heard that since I got in this business. Bro, you just made my day, Johnny. Thank you. Even though I know it's not real, but thank you. Dude, so cool. Thank you, Johnny B. Very much. Thanks so much. So here we go. We're going to get ready. Scott, Michelle, we're going to get ready to bring in the next round. Folks, make sure you go and vote for that last round. We had a good debate. Now we have an even. It steps up a notch. First of all, in the other corner, we have Joe Cool weighing in around. Joe Cool, you look a little thinner than last time. I think you're in about 180, 175-ish.
Yeah,
Close
I-
enough, yeah.
Joe Cool.
That's
smoked a few
something.
of
Right there. And he lighted up. And, hey, look at Teddy Daniels is not going to let you be the only cool guy.
All right, let's get going.
There it
Let's
is.
get going.
Joe Cool, do you know who Teddy Daniels is?
I do not know who Teddy Daniels is. I do not know if we have a
He's a guy who fought in the
but-
war. He's got some cool stuff going on, but he's a cool dude that likes to get in the trenches. That's actually his show. And Teddy, let me tell you a little bit about Joe Cool. Joe Cool is a guy who goes around Chicago, grew up in Chicago his whole life. He is he has the background. He doesn't care for the mayor, nor does he care for the police. I'll let Joe talk for himself. But he's a slick dude that goes out and really gets into the cops, as he calls it, doing his audits and his checks throughout Chicago on a routine basis. He's got a huge
I
YouTube
gotta
following.
correct you.
He's got a
I
huge
gotta
YouTube
correct you.
following, and he's something special. You guys are going to have a good debate tonight.
I do it across the whole entire country, not just Chicago.
Yes,
I
I'm sorry,
across the
Joe Cole,
country for
right.
3 years. Yeah, that's all. All right. Do we have a topic or
Yeah, man, we're going to
I
jump
can kick
into it right
off.
now with you
I'm
two.
an idiot.
And
Okay, go
I
ahead,
think
go
the
ahead.
topic, really honestly, is going to go to the southern border. And I don't know how much you guys want to. And this is the first round, because obviously before we get this round over, we're going to get into some cop conversations. Teddy's a pro cop. Certainly, you don't have a problem calling him out. But I want to know about the southern border from both of you. First of all, I'm going to start with Joe Cool on this question. Please to you first. The southern border has opened up a flood of immigrants coming into this country. We've seen just 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, almost 53 lives lost in a container that were locked in there by the coyotes, providing this false narrative, by the president himself currently in this administration, saying the border, well, it's closed, but we welcome you here. Would you close the border? Would you close the border, and why, or why not? Joe Cool, you first.
Personally, I don't care. I think these are. If I had a border system that was equal, had an equal opportunity at coming in, and if it was fair, I consider that. But since that's not possible, I don't give a. I could care less if these people come over. I don't care. Knock yourselves out.
So you don't care. You don't care. Teddy, what's your thoughts on the southern border? Because you know a little bit of what's going on down there as well. Yes, you would close it, or would you just keep it like it is?
We got to keep it closed. We already have legal ports and points of entry into this country. We got to close it. And I don't know if Joe's familiar with this. And Joe, you're a Chicago guy, man. I respect that, my man. But the folks coming in across the border, they are taking okay. So we have one of the highest unemployment rates in this country now that we've ever had.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You have employers that are willing to pay under the table cash for these people that could go to other folks. These jobs can go to other folks. Okay.
I agree. I don't care. Let the
finding a
market
job
take
right
care of
now.
itself. I don't care. The money military, the money they give big pharma and stuff, these monies are pennies that we're talking about. I can't really get invested in it when they're spending all these trillions of dollars of big pharma and corporations, big bankers. They get them trillions. What do I care about some cats coming across the border? I can't get invested.
All right. Well, let me ask you this, man. Do you know how to speak Spanish?
I do not. I love Spanish
Okay,
people, Mexicans, all of them.
Hey, I do too. But tell you what, if you don't care about the border, man, you got I got to start taking Spanish. You know what I mean?
I'm okay
because
with that.
hey,
I'm
that's
okay
what's
with
going to
that.
happen.
I'm okay with that. I got no problem with that. I love those cats, man. I got no problem with that.
Now, Joe Cool and Teddy, I want to ask you guys this. Now, the border conversation comes up. Drugs, there's all these things. Joe Cool, you basically said, leave it alone. You do know drugs are coming through the border.
I don't care if a guy does drugs. A grown man, no victim, no crime. I could give a fuck less if a person do drugs. I don't care. I'm not dead.
Even if it's what about the fentanyl stuff that's coming over the border? I mean, you wouldn't care about that at all?
If some idiot wants to go do fentanyl on his own accord, that somebody ain't slipping in his drink, he's a grown man. Do your own thing, bro. I can offer bridge either.
Teddy, your thoughts on that?
It sounds like Joe is a man who holds personal accountability and personal responsibility to the highest level. And I agree with Joe on the personal accountability and personal responsibility. But I'm sure later in the debate that's going to come back because that's a two-way street. That's a two-way street on both sides. So personal accountability, personal responsibility. So if you go do an action, you are then responsible to accept the consequences of that action.
You would
so I'm just going to leave it at that. Yeah.
All right, fellas, here we go. We're going to go into this next round, and this is going to be a policing, justice, racism round. We're going to get you guys talking on some topics that are going on across the country. You like that, Joe? You like that? It was cool, right? How I explained it.
I'm okay.
I love the I worked on that line all day long, for Christ's sakes. I hope it was good. So with the policing policies in our country, we've seen a lot of attention towards defunding the police, the concept, defund the police. This is going to go to Teddy first, Joe, and it's going to come to you next. Defund the police. Your thoughts, support, or against? Teddy, first to you. I'm pretty sure I know where the hell you're going to be coming from.
I'm obviously 100% against it because here's what happens. It's the rich folks living in their gated communities that are jumping around, yelling defund the police. Stacey Abrams, the biggest defund the police advocate out there, just spent $450,000 on her own private security. She didn't spend it on an orthodontist, didn't spend it on a treadmill, didn't spend it on a dietitian. She spent it on private security. Now, when you defund the police, the rich folks in the gated communities, they're still going to have their police coverage. It's the folks in the populated areas, the urban areas. That's where the coverage is going to be pulled from. And most of the folks in those areas want the police there.
No, they
want them
don't.
there.
No, they don't. No, I live in those populated areas. No one wants the police. No one even likes the police in my neighborhood. In fact, I could cut all these costs down. Police take up 50% of my city's budget, Chicago, 3.5 million people. We could cut that down. Give us our weapons. I can handle my own. I don't need no police, and then you could save some freaking money.
Okay, so Chicago has the highest crime rate, highest homicide rate in the country right now. I think the weapons
and the
are
gun
already
laws.
there.
No.
I agree.
These-
I agree. Now, hold on. I agree with you with the worst gun laws. And I believe that's Lori Lightfoot's policy
Yeah, that's that
that
lousy
have put
prick,
Chicago in that situation. But you can't take it out on the cops. Because trust me, my man, I did that job for 15 years. Okay?
Yeah.
15 years I did it. And the one thing I learned, you treat people like people, okay? You're
It
going
makes
to
a world
get
of
that in
difference.
return. You're
Let
going to
me-
get that in return.
They comment on you can't take it out on the cops. I disagree. If it was some guy's job to steal money and smack me around, he did it through a so-called cop who come tell me I'm just doing my job, give me $500 for crossing an imaginary yellow line and locking me up and shit like weed. I got to blame the cop. He bears some responsibility.
Well, hold on. Now, you just said earlier that you're okay. You don't care if anybody does drugs, but there are consequences. And
Yes.
you are a personal accountability, personal responsibility guy. Guys,
Yeah.
weed's a separate issue. I'm not even, trust me.
I-
You knew my background. I ain't worried about the weed. All right. Bro, I did work for Snoop. Okay. I did work with Flav. Hell, I was in an Ice Cube video. All right.
Buddies. Yeah.
So, okay. So the weed thing don't bother me. But it's the other stuff that does harm to people that currently is against the law.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, you did state earlier, hey, if you break the law, that's a personal accountability and responsibility issue.
You're a little off. I said as long as you don't harm no one, I don't have a problem with it. I think you're going to go into crimes and harm people. I have an issue with those.
But it's against the law. And again, it's about personal accountability and personal
Fuck
responsibility.
the laws, slavery, Jim Crow, all laws. Rosa Parks had to get on the back of the bus. Law.
Whoa.
Laws get
We're
it
talking
wrong, baby.
70 years ago. 70 years ago.
Its philosophy still applies.
know-
You can learn from your
what the
past,
toughest,
Joe.
you know what the toughest demographic in this country to get a job in today's market is? A white male
Dude,
between the ages of 18 and 35. We don't have
Fuck outta
affirmative
here.
action. We don't have affirmative action. We don't get
Affirmative
scored
action, dude.
different. Okay, we don't
Yeah.
get scored different. Okay,
You-
we're not given preference on civil service exams. Okay,
Yes.
now there
Yes.
was a time in that in this country to where
Yes.
all that stuff was needed, and I agree with it.
Yeah,
But I think the pendulum has now swung far in the other direction to where
You'd be wrong. They did a study where it showed that a white man with a felony has the same chance of getting a job as a black guy with no felony. A black guy with a felony has a statistically zero chance of getting a job. White man all day has a better chance of getting a job.
I'm telling you, that's not the case.
Joe, do you think, and I want to jump in here, do you think what's happened over the last, say, 2 years because of the social justice obvious movement we talked about earlier, has that had impact? Has it had impact in your opinion, in your world?
All negative, all negative, all negative. All that crap's negative. I don't want people protecting me and you worried about what someone says, feels. I don't want to call you by your pronoun. That's your business.
I'm with
All
you.
that social justice shit is negative shit to me, Joe.
So isn't it, you know what, Scott, I want to take a time out here because you know what's interesting? Even in some of the strongest differences, there's a code that everyone in the world I can smell it between these two guys.
Yeah.
There's a
Of
sense
course,
of
I respect the hell out of them. I don't even know.
Joe
right?
Cool been there and Teddy been there at 3 a.m. when there's some shit going down. These dudes know what the fuck time it is. Am I right?
Yeah. Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
I run the
Listen, I
streets
think-
at 3 o'clock. Yeah.
I actually think I've seen them both in a Snoop Dogg video.
Yes, me and Flav Party, Ice-T hung out
It
there.
might have been that. It might have. I don't know what it was.
Bro, I did work with Tommy Chong. Like,
Very
dude, like,
good.
okay. So
Very
Like
good.
I think the
I
only
get the
chunk-
world, man. I get the world.
I think
Yeah.
the only Chong that Joe Cool knows is Cheech and Chong.
That's what he's talking about.
Yeah,
That's
that's
Joe.
Tommy
cat,
Chong.
right?
Yeah.
That's the
That's
same
who he
cat.
worked. Teddy worked for him. Listen, you guys got to go check Teddy Daniels. His rat. Go check his mitt, Joe Cool. Go check his mitt, bro. All right. Go check his
check
mitt.
you out.
Joe, you the man. You the man,
Yeah.
brother. It was good talking
Back-
to you,
Well,
buddy.
Scott, what do you think
Back
before you
at
let
you,
these guys
man.
go? What
Back
do you
at
think?
you.
Yeah. So listen, I think again,
Michelle?
this is a perfect debate. This is exactly what this show is all about. Don't forget to go and vote at themasterdebaters.net/vote, or if you just go on the
Joe Cool. I love
website.
Joe Cool. Look at him.
Yeah, look,
Teddy,
I
Joe
got to
Cool.
plug
Joe.
Tyrant Slayer Studios. He's my man who hooked me up with you guys. Tyrant Slayer Studios.
Yes.
Y'all go check
Kyron,
him out.
you coming on next time? He wanted to come on, Tim. I'm going to get him next time. Thank you to both of you guys. Teddy.
Hey, I want to say something. Next
Yeah,
time
bro.
I'm in Chicago, me and Joe got to hook up, man.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
There
Steak
it is.
dinner is on me, bro.
That's love, man.
There
That's
it is.
love.
We're going on tour
I gotta
soon,
cut
Teddy,
out.
so
I
we're going to
can't
do
hang
that
around,
soon.
We're on it.
Thank you.
It was beautiful.
Oh wait.
Debate. It was definitely a great debate right there. Scott, what'd you think?
Yeah, I thought it was excellent. Great debate. It was great to have both of these guys on. Joe Cool, we've seen before. He was on our premiere episode, and it was
Yep.
just hilarious. So great to have him back.
Yeah.
And we have two awesome candidates coming up right now. We have MJ coming up against Warren G. And that's like nothing but a G thing, baby, you know?
RNG and Nate Dogg.
Yeah, Warren G. So we're gonna bring in Warren G, and we're gonna bring in MJ.
MJ and Warren G. There you
There
go.
MJ's
we go.
partying.
MJ's partying it up over there. All right.
Well, welcome.
Just wait.
Warren.
Welcome,
Welcome,
guys.
MJ was in her car earlier. She's had so much time in the waiting room. She's been able to go home, make dinner, maybe
Liquor
smoke
store.
a joint. I don't know exactly what she did. Maybe have a drink, whatever she's doing. Warren, welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm well. Thank you.
You look tired, Warren. I'm going to be really with you. You want to go get some sugar in you? Because I think MJ's going to eat you up.
It's been a long day and a couple of glasses of wine.
Okay. All right.
Same.
We won't hold you accountable. Hey, Scott, let's get into it, right? Because I got some great questions. I think that Warren and MJ are going to enjoy debating right here on the Master Debater Show.
All right. Let's go.
I think I just jumbled that word, by the way. Master Debater Show.
Yeah.
Here we
You
go.
sounded
Warren
you sounded
and
Joe
MJ.
Biden.
What's that?
I said you sounded like Joe Biden like that. You know. when
I
he
did
was
actually.
asked
Every
about-
now and then I start reading the podium. But speaking of Joe Biden, the first question for you two in this round, Warren and MJ. And MJ, I'm going to go to you first. It's again back to this is policing, this is justice, racism in our country, and how is it that some people who supported Joe Biden can give him a pass for his masterminding the 1994 crime bill? And that bill helped create incarceration in our country's history, unlike anything we've ever seen. MJ, your thoughts sort of on Joe Biden's involvement, his fingerprints that have been fairly depicted. Does he have any blame, and are you okay with that?
Absolutely, he has blame. I'm not a Joe Biden fan, and I think you may have introduced me as a Democrat, which I am not. I don't really play into American politics, but
Love it.
absolutely, he needs to take some ownership in causing systemic racism in our country, especially when it comes to that area.
MJ, thank you for that. And thank you. You know what? I appreciate that you're independent thinking. How Dewan being a friend of yours, I'm sure there's a lot of us more likely to get along. Warren, same question to you. You saw during some of the debates, in fact, back in 2020, when we saw the presidential debates, this question was circulating then. And certainly the claim was that Joe Biden had a firsthand involvement in creating the issues of incarceration of large numbers of black males in this country for purposes of seemed like government, sort of mechanics. They were building facilities, building opportunities, and he was a part of it. But yet, he got a pass at the end of the day with the vote, supposedly. Warren, what are your thoughts on that?
It's a much bigger issue than what's being outlined here. First and foremost, this whole thing about quote unquote systemic racism, I don't accept it. All of us are human beings. All of us are faulty. in this world, in this country, there are always going to be a certain minority of people that are racist. There are always going to be a certain minority of people that are anti-Semitic. There are always going to be a certain number of people that, don't like broccoli or whatever the case may be. That doesn't mean it's systemic. In this country, we have made such huge strides over the decades. Once upon a time, 50 or 100 years ago, yes, there was systemic racism. People were discriminated against because of their color. I don't see it anymore. Martin Luther King said so brilliantly that we should be judged by the content of our character, not the color of our skin. I see that today. I see that in all aspects of life. I see that in hiring. As an employer, I can vouch for that. I don't see systemic racism. I think systemic racism is something that is what's the word? The concept is created in order to try to separate us, in order to try to push the sides further apart rather than bring people together.
Okay, so MJ, you hear that point, and thank you, Warren, for opening up right into the conversation. And Warren didn't fool around; he got into it. MJ, when you hear that from somebody, and you had some movements, I was watching the energy in you.
Trying not to.
I did. I saw the body language.
I'm gonna drink
I saw
some more real quick.
Exactly. So you know what, MJ, to you, really, when you hear that from Warren, he says there is not an issue. Systemic racism does not exist. What's your thoughts?
I guess my first thought that comes to mind is you're a white person saying this. Of course you're not going to see it. Of course you're not going to experience it because you're white. Why would you experience it? Oh my gosh, I can't even think straight now. As far as, did you say you don't believe in systemic racism?
I do not believe in systemic racism. I do not see systemic racism, not against me per se, but I'm also judging based on how I view other people.
But you're not the only person in this country.
Of course not.
That's great that you don't view other people that way, but there are so many people who do. There's so much implicit bias in white people. You can take psychological tests that will tell you what your level of implicit bias is. We all have that in us as white people. It's just how we were raised.
I'm sorry. Respectfully, MJ, I don't buy it. When
were you born?
What's that?
When were you born?
1968.
So right after or right during like the civil rights.
That is correct.
So in your lifetime, people were still being told they couldn't use water fountains if they were a certain color. They had to sit separately.
No, you're actually about 15 years too late. That was
I have
well
to say,
I'm
gonna jump in here with both of you and just read out some of the comments because we got to get some of these user comments in here. So we have one person who says bullshit. Whites are a target now. I am white. I have an adopted black son and a Latina daughter. Bullshit, bullshit, bullshit. So it's just and we got bullshit, implicit bias, my fucking ass. So just reading.
Can I ask a question of MJ and Scott, back to Warren and MJ. And MJ, you bring up a point about how is it fair that Warren. We're gonna let the sound. These are great sound effects, guys. We should have had this with Joe Cool. If we had this with Joe Cool and Teddy, it would have been perfect. But the question is,
well, Joe Cool would have been like, "Oh shit, I think they're."
I know. No, Joe Cool is a cool dude, man. That's my dude. But MJ, to you, you made a point to say. You made a point to say that how can a white guy understand systemic racism? But yet, I'm going to assume, and I shouldn't. Are you a white woman, and how do you understand the plight of that person? And this is a fair question. To you first, MJ, and then we'll hear you and Warren go back and forth.
So what exactly is the question?
The question is, how can you say to Warren, how can you as a white guy, talk that there's no systemic racism? You're white, yet I have to assume, a white woman?
Yes. And
you know that you feel this in your heart. How is it that you can do that as a white person when you don't know the systemic realities of that color?
I feel like I do see it.
Okay, I'd love to hear
when
more.
When a cop pulls up on a 12-year-old and the kid's dead within 10 seconds, what else would you call that? How often does that happen to a white child?
probably statistically more, MJ. In a lot of ways, there's statistics that actually, because of majority, which is a word that's often used, there seems to be that number. And I'm not arguing with you. You
Don't you
asked the
think
question.
we'd see that on the news if the cop killed a white kid within 10 seconds of pulling up? The kid was doing nothing, just playing around. You don't think we'd see that on the news?
So folks out there that are on here right now, pull up some research and tag it in here, because I'm sure there's some numbers. Scott, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, I think we should let them keep going exactly on this topic. I think, especially after the comments that were just made back and forth. So
Can I jump in? Can I jump in?
Jump in.
Yeah,
Let 'em
yeah.
know.
So this is forgive me, I don't remember the actual numbers off the top of my head, but statistics have proven over the last 5 years, more white suspects were shot and killed by police in certain situations than black suspects.
What certain situations? The cop just pulling up and then within 30 seconds killing the person?
Cops don't pull up, see someone who's black and say, "Oh, automatically, let me."
Yes,
pull my
they
gun and shoot
do.
you." I'm sorry.
Hold on, I gotta look at the kid's name. Yes, they do. We have videos of it. Video after video after video. Bullshit.
MJ, cops, there is not one cop in this. I'm sorry, I shouldn't say that. There's always, in every industry, cops, attorneys, doctors, there's always going to be bad apples, okay? But the police departments of this country do a better job of washing out or eliminating those bad apples than any other industry in this country. Cops do not go out looking to use their guns and shoot people. Remember,
Warren,
I didn't say
anybody else.
I didn't say
Warren,
they
you
did.
hear all
That's
the
part
cops?
of implicit bias. When they're pulling up on a black person and they're too scared to be able to control their body, and they pull the trigger way too early, killing innocent children
Warren,
who are playing at the park.
Warren,
I'm
as a
sorry,
white man, as a white man, those sirens, they're coming for you.
Well, I'm sorry, Michelle and Scott, you were saying something before. I didn't hear what you were trying to say.
No, that's what it was. I was just stirring up some shit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, hey, when Scott jumps in, guys, just so everyone that's watching, MJ and two included, Scott's the nerdy white guy in the team. He has stupid humor.
I could
Michelle, is
tell.
that fair to say?
So-
There's a little bit of stupid humor. So
Let me point something out.
yeah,
Major police departments throughout the country, New York, Chicago, Los Angeles, Seattle, you name it, they have done more to try to diversify those police departments so that the number of cops or the percentage of cops match the percentage of minorities in those departments so that they would not be perceived as racist. So it is more likely in Chicago, in New York, that a black or Hispanic or Asian police officer is going to pull up on a situation where there's trouble. Now, that trouble may be caused by I shouldn't put it that way. When they pull up on a situation, the suspect may be black, they may be white, they may be Hispanic, they may be Asian, there may be something else. Who knows? It could be a Hasidic rabbi with curls and a yarmulke sitting there. Who knows? It doesn't make a difference. No cop is looking to pull their gun and shoot someone.
MJ, jump in here. If you have something to say, MJ, jump in, please.
Oh, I'm just listening. Like I said, of course they're not going out there with that purpose.
Right.
I never said they were.
Nor is there any systemic prejudice against that suspect simply because of their race, color, or creed.
You don't think in the George Floyd case that racism had anything to do with it? His race had anything to do with it? Nothing?
I don't know. I honestly don't know.
Bullshit.
Okay?
Yes, you do know. Come
No,
on.
I
That guy
don't.
would not have knelt on a white man's neck until he died. You know that.
That's not true, because at that time, since putting a knee on the person's neck was an approved move by that police department. So whether that guy, but you have to look at what happened the 20 minutes beforehand. They rolled up. They were.
I did.
The
What
cops
does that
were
have to do with
respectful.
anything? He was convicted for a reason.
He was convicted.
You are wrong.
I'm sorry.
He was
So-
wrong, and you are wrong, and obviously 12 jurors agreed with that.
He was convicted for a reason. Okay. Now, we could argue that the reason was just. We could also argue that the reason was because these 12 jurists felt pressure from society that they had
How many times have they felt pressure not to convict a cop?
probably just as many. I
Way
would
more,
agree.
just as many, really? How
There's-
many convictions have cops gotten after they have killed people
It
who
is-
weren't even armed?
You are correct that statistically, cops
And actually,
tend to
let's just throw
not
them all.
be what's the word I'm
Held
looking for?
accountable, convicted in court.
Convicted. They
in
tend
the
not to be
past history.
convicted during those shootings are found to be justifiable more often than not.
By
I agree with
who?
you. I
A
agree
bunch
with
of
you on that.
people feeling pressured not to convict a cop, or other cops who are covering up for
Gina
their.
Ford said you're another sheep. You're another sheep out there, just to say.
You know what?
Just
I'm
letting you
not
know.
going to say that there's never a situation where a bad shooting is covered up. It does it could happen? Yes,
Could happen. It happens all the time with
It
white
doesn't happen
people
all-
too.
it doesn't
Yes,
happen all
it
the time.
does.
No,
Oh
it
my
doesn't happen all the time. Listen
Okay.
to me, cops. We all have to put ourselves.
I need my
we were
computer
talking
so
about
I
So,
can
systemic
so you know what,
racism.
let me chime in here, guys, because Diana Anderson, and I know a little bit about this, and I really don't want to talk publicly, but she says that the cop, meaning in the George Floyd situation, actually knew and had a relationship with him, which I
That's
think
even
is
worse.
well, but is it worse though, MJ, that there's some sort of there's
Yes,
been rumors
it
out there about
is.
intimate? Well, let me phrase it.
Why?
Let me phrase it the right way, and just to have a discussion. The intimate discussions have been that he, meaning the cop, was in some way related to George Floyd's girlfriend somehow. Did you ever hear that rumor?
What? No, and I'm pretty sure that probably would have come out if it was true.
You think that would have come out eventually?
Absolutely, they would have used
Okay.
that shit. Are you kidding me? He likes
So
black
you-
people. See, he has family members related to black people, just
Right.
like that one lady. I have adopted a black child, and I have a Latino. So what?
Let me ask you a question, MJ. You mentioned something before about systemic racism and that as a white person we should be able to stand in their shoes, so to speak, to see what that racism is all about. Correct?
That's not what I said, but okay.
Please correct me, please.
There's no way you could ever stand in their shoes because you don't have black skin. You can only see what happens. You cannot feel what happens.
But
You don't know if I guess the way I look at it is I grew up in the Midwest. I was taught that everybody's equal, blah, blah, blah. But somehow it still was taught to me that I should be afraid of black people. You should not marry a black person. For the longest time, I was scared every time a black person passed me on the sidewalk until I finally got old enough to think for myself and be like, I don't even know these people. Why am I scared every time they walk past me? Because it's ingrained in our head from childhood. My grandparents were racist. My parents were racist. Your parents were racist.
So are you
We
saying
might not
that
actively be out in the world being racist to people, but we have that kind of thinking that's been ingrained in us.
let me ask you a hypothetical question. All right. I view people. I want to set the tone because I don't.
But why
want-
does it keep
So,
coming back
Warren,
to you?
Hey guys, I'm gonna just jump in here real quick because we only have 2 minutes left. So and by the way, this debate is really fantastic here. So and now I just forgot exactly what I was gonna say, but I'm having
this is a good, but Scott. You know what? I want to chime in. I know we have coming. MJ and Warren, very good debate. MJ, you're very good at coming back with a response. I might not agree with your responses, but the way you handle your responses, I definitely like your approach. And Warren, you kind of remind me of my professor that pissed me off in school. That's all I got to say.
You know, the bottom line is this. We're having an intelligent, respectful conversation. We don't necessarily have to agree, and I would love to debate this for hours on end. But the fact that we can do this respectfully, and even at the end of the day, agree to disagree, this is what has been lost from society today.
I agree with that.
100%.
MJ, would you agree?
Amen.
And that's the
MJ, do we
reason why
need more
we're doing this
talking?
show.
Do we need more talking, MJ? Do you think we need to come to places like this and have healthy conversations?
I think we need to all get together and fight the 1%. I agree with you that they have us split and fighting for a reason, because then it keeps the attention off them. We need to fight the 1%, not each other. Yes.
All right, there we go. Fight the 1%. Well, I'm certainly not the 1%. Scott, Michelle, and Warren might be the 1%. We'll fight them together, MJ. You and I. Scott, closing thoughts on the Master Debater Show.
Yeah, so here we go. We're gonna bring them
Bring
all.
them all
here.
on.
All right. Man, let me tell you, this was our best show yet. And I hope there's people out there who are watching the show today and are going to send us an email. Go to the website, themasterdebaters.net. Besides, we definitely want you to vote. We'll announce the winners on our Facebook page and everything as to who won the debates tonight. But go on there and apply to be a contestant. As you can see, this is what it's all about. And we need everyone to stop typing with their fingers and start opening their mouths.
Michelle, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, I don't think an hour is enough for this show, because I think a lot of people have been holding things in, and an hour is definitely not enough to get everybody's thoughts. Great job, everybody, and thank you for being a part of this. It's not easy, right? Getting people together.
It's not
but
easy getting people together, and then we have assholes who cancel the last second. It's just not cool.
And big shout out to Joe Cool, Teddy, MJ, your team that came on, the people you knew. Big shout out to Dewan and Eastman for helping us out. And guys, at the end of the day, think about it. Democrats, liberals, independents, people that don't want to vote, people that don't care. We're all coming together in this circle. And believe me, MJ, I'm going to say something. This is going to make a difference in people's lives. We're going to make people be able to laugh and respect and actually get along again. That's why I believe in it, Scott, Michelle. Thank you.
Absolutely. We believe the same, and want to thank all of these contestants who came on the show today. You're all welcome back.
yeah, please tell your friends.
Tell your friends about it. And
Hey, we need sponsors, though. We need sponsors, guys. Anyone that wants to sponsor this.
We need
Let us know.
participants. We need everything. Like, we need to build this up to where, we're at the highest level.
Yeah, we're excited for the future of the Master Debaters, and we'll see everybody next Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern time. Have a great night, everybody.
Thank you.
Good job, Kevin.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.